off my laptop. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So my name is Paulina Landers, and I'll be talking about adoption around us. I want everyone to understand the importance of adoption in the community. When I was a little girl, I was adopted. I was in 3 foster homes, and I was put there due to the fact that my mother was a drug abuser. My grandmother was my primary caregiver until she could no longer actually take care of me. So she gave me up and put me in a foster home because she knew she could no longer take care of me. So when I was 9 years old, or 8 years old, I came and lived with my parents, that my adoptive parents now, and they are my parents, and I love them with all my heart, and God really blessed me with the fact that I was an 8-year-old girl, and I was actually adopted. Later on, you'll find out that people that are kids that are a little bit older don't get adopted as much as the younger kids that come up for adoption. Because I have been adopted, I'm interested in other kids' stories and other people's stories pertaining to adoption and how they go through it in their process. I want to help children in the foster care system, and I want them to eventually become adopted or go back to their families, if they've cleaned up and they've got where they needed to be. I also want to highlight the positivity in adoption, and there's a lot of negatives when you think of kids in foster care and when you think of kids that have been adopted. And there are a few happy stories, but I'm one of those happy stories. But everyone can help with kids getting a happy story eventually. So I want us to learn about how children are adopted in age groups. On travel.states.gov, statistics show that only 3,293 children were adopted from 1999 to 2017. So in 18 years, only 3,293 kids were adopted. Most of those ages that were adopted were between the ages of birth to 4 years old. I was one of those lucky ones in the 18-year span, the 5 to 12 age group, that only had around 450 adoptions. I was one of the lucky ones. There are approximately, right now in the state of Alabama, 6,000 children in foster homes. No one really knows what these kids go through unless someone has also been gone through foster care and those kind of things. So unless you've actually been through it, you don't know what they really go through. It puts so much mental strife on a kid that age to go through something so horrific, so hard to go through, and it also puts a scar on that person for a very long time. The adoption to foster care ratio is very one-sided. People need to take chances on children. People need to, by either fostering or adopting. So if, I know it's a big commitment, but it's something that can help change a person's life. Give them a chance. Everyone deserves chances. A little bit of the process to be able to adopt or to be able to be a foster parent. In order for you to qualify to adopt, you must be certified to foster. And in order to obtain a license to foster, you must go through a local DHR, and they check your background records, and they drug test you, and they check your license and all these things. And you also have to take a 3-hour class 1 night a week in order to be certified to foster for 9 weeks. So 3-hour class for 9 weeks. And these kind of classes train people how to make their homes safe for children, and they also train people how to deal with children who need more emotional stability in their lives. So they train you how to deal with emotionally unstable kids, and they teach you how to help them cope with those situations while they're in your home. After taking these classes, there are some things that need to be done to your house, such as install fire extinguishers, lock up all the medicine. You actually have to write out fire and tornado and escape plans and things like that, which is something that you don't really think about. Now that you may know what children may go through, and you might be a little bit more aware of adoption and how you can help with these children, and take chances to adopt, or take chances to foster, or just donate. Or if you see a small kid that you know is in foster care, invest your time in them a little bit. They don't get those kinds of things a lot. People know they're in foster care, and they know they're unstable, and they know that they're not always going to be there. So take chances on foster children. Take chances on these people. Thank you.